Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. It's Tuesday afternoon. It is Drunk Pokeroo time. It is beer time. We always talk about craft beer here in the little Drunk Pokeroo corner of the world. And one of my first craft beers, before you throw anything at me, was Mill Street. I enjoyed their Tank House Ale. The Vanilla Porter was one of my favorite beers in the last 2 years. It was one of the first beers that sort of dragged me away from macro lagers and helped me to really slow down and start to appreciate what was in my beer. Now, of course, everybody knows that Labatt's or Anheuser-Busch InBev bought Mill Street last year, and it caused, let's say, some consternation among craft beer drinkers as to what to do. My personal take is, I talked about it on my blog. It was one of my very first blogs, because it was a subject that I find is odd, because if they make good beer, do you keep drinking it even though now the profit-driven corporation that owns them is maybe not your favorite thing in the world? It's a difficult decision to make, and it's a personal decision. I mean, for me, I continue to drink beer from anybody as long as it's good. I mean, honestly, what if the beer's still good? Then you drink it. So in that vein, they've come out with a West Coast style IPA. I just got my hands on it at our LCBO this weekend, and then I worked a lot, so I didn't really have time. And you know what? Today I was out mowing the lawn, and I'm like, I really want to try this today because it seems like it's a good beer. Last night I drank a Ransack the Universe, an Octopus Wants to Fight, and what was my other one that I wanted? And a Flight Delay IPA from Barnstormer, which just came out into the LCBO. All really different IPAs, but all really good. So, I'm feeling IPA. Is that a thing? IPA? I think so. I'm feeling like an IPA. So let's give it a try. I still like Tank House Ale. It's one of those beers I enjoy having. So I don't know. Let's try. You notice we're using the Spiegeloo glass because I don't have any branded Mill Street glasses, and I feel like I need to give this a true shot. Look at that. Beautiful pour. Gorgeous head. So it's made, it does have wheat in it, malted wheat, which is an interesting style of beer, and it is hazy, but I mean, it's a gorgeous freaking beer. I'm going to run outside and take a picture. I will be right back. And I'm back. Okay, that was fun. We all gotta suffer for our art. No, it looks so nice. The head is like that. Really hasn't dissipated at all. It's kind of weird. Very happy about that. Let's just get the rest of that in there. So it's very hazy. A nice, 2-finger white head. And it stuck around all that running up and down the stairs. It's good. It's tropical, so it's got that hoppy tropical citrus smell, which is pretty awesome. Cheers. That's good. It's good. I don't know if I'd call it a West Coast style, but it's bitter, more tangerine-y, not a lot of mango, but pineapple-y, definitely some grapefruit. There's some pine bitterness in there. It's not too juicy, so it's definitely a refreshing. Now, I don't want to say refreshing because it's 6.6%. I think it's 80 IBU, so it's certainly a bitter beer. It's pretty good. Is it the best IPA I've had? No, I mentioned those 3 other IPAs I had yesterday, and those were outstanding. I mean, when you're talking Octopus and Ransack, especially, and Flight Delay, these are 3 really, really good IPAs. This holds its own. I mean, it's a different style too, right? But it's good. So that's what I'm going to pose a question to you today. As we move along here and we're going through, and I mean, let's face it, craft beer is, especially in this province, in Ontario and in Canada, we're behind a bit of the States, but we are just accelerating at a rapid pace in terms of, new construction and new breweries opening up. So here's my question to you. If your favorite craft brewer was made an offer and sold to Big Beer, would you continue to drink them if their quality didn't change? So if they were allowed to continue, I was talking the other day, sorry, before I go, we were talking about Unibrew in Quebec, who about 12 years ago was bought by Sleeman, who was in turn bought by Sapporo from Japan, who are one of the big brewing companies in the world, and they pretty much left them alone to brew their beer. Like, their beer, from people who have been drinking their beer for that amount of time, have said it's still the same stuff. They're allowed to brew what they have, and I'm assuming Mill Street's being allowed to brew their own style. I mean, it's nice to see them try and come up with something new, which is awesome. I mean, yes, it's an IPA, and I like IPAs. So, but would you continue to buy if your favorite craft brewer, I don't care who it is, if you're talking somebody who's been around forever and who's pretty big, like Steam Whistle or Amsterdam or Great Lakes, or if you're talking one of the newer ones, like Barnstormer, or let's say Sean and Ed here in Hamilton, or Collective Arts. I'm not saying anybody's being offered. I'm just saying, what would you do? Would you continue to buy their product if it maintained its, let's say, originality and its commitment to quality ingredients, or in your mind, if it gets bought out by Anheuser-Busch InBev or, Molson Coors, do you automatically no longer drink that beer because you will not support Big Beer and their pursuit of market share? So, I mean, that's the question here. This is a nice beer. I saw somebody's comment, and it was, I didn't want to like this beer because it's Mill Street, because Mill Street sold. And that really bothered some people. But, I mean, it's a bitter, piney, dry back end, which is what you like in your IPAs. Would I put it in my top 5 IPAs from this year? No, but it's definitely a good IPA. There's a bit of a citrusy, like I said, a tangerine-ness in there, and it's got some bright citrus notes. There's a little bit of lemon in there, so I mean, it's a nice beer. I don't know what to tell you. I'll buy Mill Street because I like it. If I go somewhere and a lot of times the choices on the tap are not great, it's much better now. But when the choices aren't good on tap and you get Mill Street there, or the Rogers Center they're being served now, which is fantastic because at least it's a better option than Bud, or than Molson Canadian, which, let's face it, I mean, they're designed for one thing. Like I say, I like lagers. I review lagers all the time when I can find them. There's some good lagers being made. However, lagers are difficult for me because it's easy for me to slide back into old behaviors and old, let's just tip them back, boys. They're cold and they're refreshing, and let's go. So I like this because this can be a sipper. It's 6.6%. You can take your time. You can enjoy it. So, hey, Mill Street, as long as you keep making good beer, this poker will keep drinking it, and I know a lot of other people will too. I mean, I don't know. It certainly is something I struggle with. I certainly don't want to support or encourage Big Beer in any way because, let's face it, they were, partly part of my downfall was my, giving into that sort of frat boy beer culture of, let's shotgun beers and pound beers and just get hammered all the time. And, I don't do that with craft beer because it's delicious beer. So, I mean, this is good. This is a nice beer. Give it a try. Let me know what you think. It's certainly, it's in the mid 3s for me out of 5. It's good. It's tasty. It's refreshing. I don't know. So anyways, tomorrow is Lou Dogs with my buddy Paul, the beer guy. We're going to go and have some wings, meet for the first time, and talk all things craft beer. I'll report back to you on Thursday. And on Thursday, we will have another new beer to talk about. This time, back to craft beer. Thanks to my dad for making me this cool sign. He's working on some other ones for me. I just like to decorate the basement with all kinds of beery stuff, but I don't want the big boy stuff. I mean, I can buy Molson Canadian stuff and the Bat Blue stuff, and I don't drink it. Why would I buy it? So my dad makes these custom for me just so I can hang them down here. I probably should learn how to do some of that because that would be fun. But get yourself a Mill Street. Give it a try. Like their organic lager, and I have one friend who loves their organic lager. It's a staple in his fridge. It's a nice beer. Tank House Ale, the Vanilla Porter, again, one of my favorites. Now, I found porters that I love even more, but it was one of the gateway beers that brought me two craft beers. So I'll always have a little place in my heart for Mill Street and their vanilla porter. Anyways, guys, I'm going to go outside. I got to do some more gardening. I'll talk to you on Thursday. Remember, raise your glass, raise your standards, demand better. But, give everything a try. Cheers. Pretty good.